Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and it's time for the Q&As again, so let's go ahead and get this started. Alright, first question. Why do you never do cleans in any of your videos? We're told they're important, yet I don't even see starting strength videos on them. Do they simply require too much upper body mobility to be useful to the general public? I was messing around with just muscle cleans on camera for a while because I was doing it for all my overhead pressing. I'm not filming my training right now. I'm not getting into all that as to why I'm not. I will eventually go ahead and buy a house and do a garage gym again like I did back in the UK, in which I'll start documenting my training a lot more. It's just, it turns into a big hassle to do filming in public gyms for a number of reasons for me. So I actually do cleans a lot. I do cleans at least twice a week right now. I average about 10 sets of power cleans a week. No, I think they're a very, very useful exercise, but your other statement isn't true. I've seen tutorials on the power clean on 3 different YouTube channels. The first one being starting strength. There are actually tutorials on their website on how to do it, or on, well, in the starting strength book, but then you see them on the actual channel. Then you've got on the art of manliness. I've seen Ripto teach them there, and then Alan Thrall actually has some very in-depth tutorials on power cleans, and even coaching people at his gym on the power clean. So if you're telling me you can't find any examples on how to do it, you probably haven't gone to YouTube and typed the word power clean into the search bar. And I'm not trying to be a dick there, but that's what it sounds like to me, because I've been able to find 3 different channels with 15 to 30 minute long tutorials that I named right there, and it took all of 30 seconds to find those. They're absolutely there. Absolutely there. And yeah, I do power cleans, and I think, honestly, I do lean more in that direction as I focus more and more on general athleticism and trying to get everyone more athletic as opposed to purely powerlifting, and I do think people need to do the big 3. Yeah, I do think most people in the gym need to clean unless you're really old. I mean, the elderly probably not, but I think for most people, things like squats, deadlifts, standing presses, and power cleans shouldn't really be optional. Those are 4 exercises I think literally every person on earth who wants to be more athletic needs to do. No exceptions. All right, next question. Hey Jason, since you made a video a while back on how to bench press safely, I've had a couple times where I did the roll of shame to get out from under the bar when failing. It saved me, but it does seem dangerous, no? Especially for a person using heavier weight. I imagine it could break a rib or something. Alright, I didn't make that video that long ago, and you've had a couple of times now. And kind of the question I would ask is, why are you taking sets to failure on the bench press? It might be time to reevaluate your progression and specifically what you are doing. Because when you hit a first grinder, you're done for the day. And I don't know how else to stress that, even people running any of my programs. If you grind any reps, even 1 rep on a bench press, you rack it. You rack it and you walk away from the bench press to your next bench day. It's absolutely insane to grind exercises like the bench press. Absolutely should not be doing that. And so yeah, when you hit a grinder, you're done. You don't go try to do another rep or another set. Again, these idiot gym bros who are always like, oh, I want to do 1 more when their spotters like helping them row. No, don't do that. And as far as all of that goes, no, it's low risk. If you set up correctly and you grip the bar correctly, how are you going to break a rib? Like, how hard are you pushing, cheating on a final rep to where you're at the risk of it dropping hard enough to break a rib? Again, you need to rethink what you're doing with your training. We're at the gym to build strength and muscle mass. All right? Your gym lifts are not an ultimate display of strength in a competitive environment. We go to the gym to stimulate adaptation, to train for muscle mass and strength. All right? Not to do silly stuff. So again, we need to be rethinking this. It's relatively safe if you set up correctly, you hold the bar correctly, and you don't use again, programming that's not good. All right, next question. Hi, Jason. It seems like most of the talk about SARMs is about how they may be safer alternatives to anabolic steroids. Why hasn't anyone talked about the therapeutic potential of these drugs? Imagine a SARM that specifically antagonizes androgen receptors in the prostate, tissue, or scalp with no other systematic effects. Is there any research being done on this? What do you mean? That's the SARMs themselves are the research being done on this. People need to understand SARMs are not a product of the supplement industry or the black market. SARMs are created by big pharma. All right, these are being researched and they're dumping millions of dollars into developing these. And that's the difference between pharmaceutical companies and the supplement industry. Have you ever seen a single supplement company spend $5 million or $10 million researching a product? No. And if they did, do you think they would throw it away when they found it doesn't work? No. Pharmaceutical companies do. And that's the difference between drugs and supplements. Supplement companies just throw random garbage at you and they don't care if it works. Pharmaceutical industry has to prove that it works, and they spend millions and millions of dollars researching drugs. And when they don't work out how they want, they toss them to the side and go to the next one. SARMs are being developed by these companies. The reason everyone's not talking about it that much is that they haven't perfected it yet. All right, they haven't perfected them. They're getting better, but what they are looking for is essentially substances that bind to bone and muscle tissue and no other tissue in the body. That's what they are trying to create. In which case you're going to get less binding to the prostate and scalp by default, because if you see a slight drop in your indigenous testosterone production, which these things still are going to produce, let's say your testosterone levels go down 20 or 30%. All right, that's automatically going to cause less binding of DHT to your prostate and your scalp, because you have 30% less testosterone that can be converted to DHT by the 5-alpha reductase enzyme. And then you're getting tissue-specific binding from the SARMs. That's what they are actually in the process of developing, specifically for some of those reasons, because they don't want the negative androgenic side effects, or estrogenic, or DHT, or anything else that testosterone gets converted to. They're looking for tissue-specific benefits, and they are getting closer and closer. And what do you mean no one's talking about the therapeutic value of this? These companies are spending millions of dollars specifically looking for that for therapeutic purposes. They're not making these for bodybuilders, right? That's not their target demographic. That's not who they're designing them for. So I don't really understand where the confusion is. It's what you're talking about is what they are doing. All right, next question. How come is it that you don't scrape your shin skin when doing deadlifts? I saw that you always do deadlifts wearing shorts and you never have bloody shins. All right, this kind of goes back to the point I make. A lot of people will come on who don't know how to deadlift, and they'll say, oh man, your technique is dangerous and risky. Actually, no, my deadlift technique is perfect. My deadlift technique is 100% perfect. I can't say that about every exercise I do, but I can say with certainty that my deadlift is, from a technical execution perspective, one of the most perfect deadlifts I've ever seen in anybody in my life, because I really took the time to perfect it. And the deadlift is not as technical as most other lifts. So it really shouldn't be as hard to perfect as people make it out to be. It's scary how many people don't know how to deadlift. It's the simplest exercise ever invented. It's, but again, people mess up curls also. All right, the reason I don't scrape my shins is that I have my bar path consistent and perfect, meaning I know exactly how to get myself over the bar in such a way to pull it to where it barely touches my shins and it doesn't drag against them. And I consistently perform the exact same bar path over and over and over, hundreds and hundreds of times. So because I have the bar path down and I have my technique down, it's not going to swing outside of my normal bar path and scrape against my shins. You just have to perfect the deadlift and this problem goes away. All right, next question. Hey Jason, what's your thoughts on the 21-year-old healthy bodybuilder dies days after working out with the flu? Well, we kind of have a problem there, don't we? Because healthy people don't die of the flu. Let me state that again. Healthy, fit people do not die of the flu, yet this young bodybuilder did. So the obvious answer is that he was neither fit nor healthy. It kind of goes back to the point that I always make. You know what? Eating a good diet can be healthy. Lifting weights can be healthy. Doing cardio can be healthy. Any sort of serious bodybuilding is not healthy. It's not healthy. I can tell you right now, anyone who cuts contest lean isn't a healthy person at that time, and they may not be a healthy person for a significant time after that. They could see problems like a compromised immune system, in which case something like the flu can kill you. Bodybuilding is not a healthy activity, and this young man was clearly not healthy, or he would not have died of the flu. It's as simple as that. So I mean, if people want my opinion on it, there you go. This just further highlights what I say all the time. Bodybuilding has no place in a healthy lifestyle. All right, weightlifting, hey, that's great. Any resistance training is great if done properly, programmed properly, with good form. A good diet, a good balanced diet is great. Cardio is great. But bodybuilding is a very, very extreme thing, and it's very damaging to the body, and it kills a hell of a lot of people. Again, right here, this kid, perfect example. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time in part 2.